Hello, everyone. Be back with another podcast. This one today is going to be a little different. We want to talk about something that's going on right now. It's a touchy subject. What Pepsi did with the commercial, and we'll just tell you a little bit about how we feel about it. You're here both sides. I got your boy Chris on the line. What's up? Hello, you there?
I'm just messing around. I'm here. I'm
All right,
here.
cool. I'm like, hey, he went out, but
Oh, you didn't hit Dr. Phil?
nah. But yeah,
Oh,
guys,
yeah?
yeah, we want to talk about what's going on with Pepsi and a little bit how marketing works because it's all a marketing technique. And I do believe it's a little off what they're doing. And so we'll get into why they're doing it. Marketing, the numbers game, because it's all a numbers game. And how everything is such high tension right now, it's easy to play with the minds of the masses. And I will definitely get into that in later podcasts on how the media, large companies, they're all working together at the end of the day. They all are part of the same organizations, and they know how to control the masses. So,
This is true.
yeah. So, your boy Chris, what's up? What do you think,
All right,
man?
so well, if anybody doesn't know, I would suggest just Googling it real quick or whatever. Anyway, that Pepsi released a new commercial with Kendall Jenner, the Kardashian sister, the model one. And in the video, she's modeling. She's at some modeling event, and there's a protest outside, a resistance, a quote unquote resistance. And some people are saying that it's supposed to be the Black Lives Matter, kind of resistance, but it's a multicultural event, right? And then there's really no signs like depicting what it is, but there's all these different people. She's looking outside like the window, whatever, and she's all done up. She's wearing a wig or whatever, and some dude walks by who's in the protest. He looks to be Asian, Hispanic maybe, and he winks at her. She throws off her wig. She takes off her modeling gown, the gown she's wearing. She throws on some denim. She goes out there. She grabs a can of Pepsi. She marches right to the front of the line, and it's a police line. And she walks over to the police officer, and she gives him a can of Pepsi, and it solves all the world's problems.
Hmm.
And people are not happy with that, Jay. They're
Yeah.
not happy because to them, to them, they see it as the Pepsi is taking advantage. They are not really they're downplaying the whole resistance, the whole movement. They're basically, they're mocking it in a way, like, oh,
Hmm.
the world's problems could be solved with a damn Pepsi, or like, hey, people are saying, okay, you have cops killing black people, but hey, just give them a can of Pepsi and they'll stop doing it. So that's the kind of reaction we'll see on social media right now,
Hmm.
and people are just how social media is. People make fun of trends, or
Yeah.
they just bandwagon. Now, see, I'm seeing a lot of people saying that the only Pepsi commercial that they reckon they'll endorse is the one with Beyonce that was done about 2 years ago.
Hmm.
So people
Yeah.
people people are not happy, and then a lot of people are making a lot of jokes. A lot of people are making a lot of jokes. Um, yeah, it's hot.
Yeah.
Listen, let me tell you something, people. This is trending number one on Twitter all day since the commercial aired. But if anybody knows what's been going on in the world today, you would say, okay, there was a chemical gas attack in Syria where hundreds of people, well over 100 people have died, a lot of them children. A lot of the videos and photos have surfaced of these people that were gassed, which is just, terrible. But yet nobody's talking about that. They're talking about this Pepsi commercial. Just tell you the kind of world we live in, the things
Yes.
that get people riled up. But
Hmm.
like I said,
That's it.
right now on social media, yeah, talk.
Deflect people from that. Deflect everyone, and that's why. And then you have the media. They control it all. They control the news. They control people. And I know you know about that, your boy Chris. They know how to program your mind and they do it with commercials, which you've just watched, which will take your mind off of the real things like happening in Syria and Africa, where most of that stuff is not even reported. In some of these countries where, if you have a camera phone, you get thrown in jail. News. I know you know about that, right, boy, Chris?
Yep.
So, it's all done to take your eyes away from the real problems that's going on. And the real problem is not a Pepsi commercial. The real problem is the other problems going on in the world. And I just wanted to say, because I want to get into that later.
What are you saying?
Oh no, I said you talk because I want to get into that later. What I was about to say.
All right, yeah. So like I said, it's just crazy that that once it's aired, and now I see to me the backlash. I can see the backlash for this commercial because, like you said, it's marketing, right? It's marketing. It's also, you know, it's controlled in such a way that it's meant to start trouble. Let's be honest.
Hmm?
Do you really think? Does anybody really think that Pepsi doesn't test their commercials in test groups of all nationalities? Does anybody think they
Hmm.
don't? Pepsi puts a lot of money, Coke, you name all these companies. They test. When you're that big, you test everything you do. Everything. So you're telling me that they tested this commercial and nobody said, hey, people might take this the wrong way. No, I
Hmm.
think they damn well knew that it was going to be taken a certain way, but they were going to take that risk. And I think, Jay, you were talking about this off air of why they would take this risk because of the
Hmm.
percentages of
Oh yeah,
population.
yeah. I'll break it down. Now the percentages of population, and that's what they play on, right? The biggest buyers in the world are located in the United States. Okay, United States buys products from all over the world. Everything is designed for the United States to buy it. Now, the United States is not the biggest population, so you got to figure, okay, they spend the most money. So now, then you look
Yep.
at the demographics in the U.S., right? 13% of the people in the U.S. are black. You have, I don't know, maybe about 20% Mexican. Then you're gonna have some Mexicans that are a little bit higher ups, and they'll more so favor the whites. But then you have maybe say take 10% of those whites off, right? Because they won't agree with that either. There are white people out there that don't agree with nonsense and things that's done to um, downplay what's happening, the real issues in America. So if you think, even if they lost 30% of the population, right, you have that other 70%, the people that's going to buy Pepsi no matter what.
Right.
This commercial will attract more people to Pepsi. And you know what? When someone's in there, subliminally they'll get a Pepsi because it's in the back of their mind.
Yeah.
So that's how marketing is done. You understand? And what's going to happen is, there's so many people. Look, I mean, now we have Trump in office. I'm not trying to say that Trump is just this horrible person. He spoke about some issues, but I'll tell you, a lot of the people that follow Trump and believe in what he does, and Trump knows this, and it go think about it. What Pepsi's doing, I won't be surprised if Donald Trump gave him that idea. I mean, the guy's a marketing genius, right? But because he
I,
knows,
I, I would go that far.
no, 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 no,
That's a
no,
stretch.
no. I know it's a stretch, but I'm talking about the mind of how they see it. And I broke down Trump because it's the same thing. It was so racial. You get what I'm saying? Everything right now is so racial. Racial tensions are so high. And the only reason I said I wouldn't be surprised if he gave him the idea, I'm not saying that he gave them the idea. I'm talking about the same mind. You get what I'm saying? The marketing
Right.
mind, understanding money, understanding how the country's working, understanding what people's minds are at. So they already know they got 70% over here. They may lose 30%. Pepsi might not even be racist, right? So, but if you see the racial tensions are so high, you can spin it to where you got those people. I was just breaking down the supporters of Trump that support Trump. A lot of the people that support Trump support him just because, oh yeah, somebody's going to bring America back again. I mean, you have a lot of patriots out there that are racist. You understand what I'm saying, right, Chris?
Yeah.
So those guys are going to say, oh yeah, I'm going to go get me a Pepsi
Well, they
because
might.
everybody's
Yeah, they
talking
might.
against it. Oh yeah. I'm getting Pepsi. Then all
They
of a sudden,
might.
Pepsi's numbers are going to shoot through the roof because they got most of the
Well,
population as far as
well,
percentage.
listen. Let's be real too. There
Hmm.
are people that they look at certain things, and when and they don't agree with it, that
Hmm.
if like Pepsi, okay, like all right, let's just say Pepsi makes this commercial, and they use this whole resistance and how like the world's problems are solved
Hmm.
with a Pepsi, right? Or at least America's racial issues are solved with a Pepsi, right? That's
Hmm.
how this commercial comes across, right? They make this commercial. I'm sure there are people that let's just say, first of all, people like family members of cops or cops in general. They're gonna watch this commercial and they're probably laughing, right? They're probably
Hmm.
laughing. They're like, haha, all these people are upset about this commercial. They'll probably go buy a Pepsi.
Yep.
And you know what? I get it. When you gotta think about it too, like you know how it is when there's two sides to something, you got to stay to your side, right? Like if you're in a battle, you're trying to win something, there's going to be people that play in the middle of the street, right? And those are the people that get run over, right? But then you're going to have the two sides that are like arguing their points, right? So you have the protest movement on one side, you have the cops on the other side, and then you have the people that are going to align themselves with both sides, right? But then you have
Hmm.
the people in the middle, right? The people in the middle are like, yeah, this is stupid. I don't get this. You people need to be nice with that person. And Pepsi is just playing the odds. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Like you said, Pepsi's playing the odds. Like, all right, we put this commercial out. We use a very popular reality star, right? We
Hmm.
used Kendall Jenner,
Hmm.
and we can't lose because no matter what happens, the backlash will not be big enough to bring us down.
Exactly, because it's to them, to Pepsi, it's all business, and yeah,
Everything's a business, right?
yeah, and it's sad. It's sad, but that's how this is going to play out at the end of the day. Pepsi won't really feel any problems at all.
They
They
might pull
won't.
the commercial.
Hmm.
They might pull the commercial, but it'll be already out there. You know what I mean? It'll
Yeah,
be
it's
this.
already out.
It's gonna. Yeah, it'll be this whole weird thing. But then again, let's be honest too. The way America is and how the news cycle is, things happen so fast. It'll be forgotten about in about 2 days.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
we already all day today. You heard about the Syrian gassing. Everybody already forgot about that.
Hmm.
But then again, like I said, we live in a weird world where, like you said, like people are playing marketing numbers. They know what they can get away with. But like I said, you'd be crazy to think if they didn't test this commercial in front of multicultural groups.
Most definitely,
It's-
they did,
Yeah,
and they knew that it would work when they did that.
they're billion dollar companies. They
Hmm.
they have the money, they spend money. I mean, they test all over the place, they test their products, they test how their products are received, they test commercials, they test like, where to push it to, you know, and it's just a little odd that this commercial came out and it is getting so much backlash, but they put it out. And that's
Hmm.
what I'm saying. Like nobody, they've had to have seen this was going to happen. Just because there is such an issue right now with protests. And you know what? Let's be honest. It's not just even the Black Lives Matter protests, because I think that actually quelled a little bit. Now you got all these other protests, going on. You have the women's
Yeah.
protest. You have, just like the anti-Trump protest. So it's weird that they just had this weird protest in their commercial with like all these different people in it, but it kind of comes across as like a Black Lives Matter protest.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I think that's where I think a lot of the problem is too, is that like, you know, maybe they could have made it more clear. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird commercial.
Well, I used to your boy Chris, and I'll definitely share it with you guys. I used to talk a lot about this. I had another YouTube channel where I broke down how the masses are controlled and how the media controls the masses' minds. They want you to feel a certain way about things. That's why Trump was so
Yeah,
successful.
well, this commercial is definitely programmed, and the
Hmm.
reason that Twitter has it trending number one, and I'm sure it's being talked about all over Facebook, and it's going to be all over YouTube.
Hmm.
It's all by design.
Yes, it's all by design because these people can push that button. I mean, they don't have to work as hard as we do. They pay a certain amount of money, and they jump right to the top
Hmm.
because they already have the marketing dollars. You know what I mean? So it's people have to understand. Your mind is going to be manipulated. I suggest for everyone to look deep down in your souls and search for real answers. Not the Pepsi commercial, not the Trump. Not it's much deeper than that. It's much deeper than that. These guys are all controlled. All of these big businesses are controlled by bigger entities that know how to spark your emotions. So you have to be very careful. When dealing, not very careful, but you have to make sure you guide your mind in the right direction because these
Well,
things will overtake you. You're getting, you'll be upset about this, and
too many
oh, this
people
is happening
fall
with
for the
Pepsi.
headlines.
Yeah, they fall
People
for the headlines.
they fall for the headlines. They don't really bother to read the context or figure things out for themselves. They fall for the headlines, and I think that's where you get a lot of these problems because
Yeah.
everybody's fighting over headlines. Basically
Hmm.
that's what they're fighting over. Nobody just takes a step back and goes, "Wait a minute, how'd this happen?" You know
Let
what
me
I mean?
research
Like,
this. Yeah.
yeah, nobody's like,
Nobody
"Oh,
does
how'd this
research.
happen?" Because you go on Twitter, right? And you have, let's be honest, you go on Twitter and you have a bunch of minorities mad at the commercial, right? Then you have a shit ton of white people not mad at the commercial. So they're just battling each other out on Twitter, making fun of each other, laughing at each other, right?
Hmm.
And the
Hmm.
thing is, that's what they want.
Yes.
That's what they
Yes.
want. And
Because
everybody falls for it.
they know that demographic of the people that are going against the minority is the majority,
And they know the
and
majority
they
of the
know it.
minorities don't listen, go, hey, wait a second, we're being played here.
Exactly.
Everybody's being played, and nobody takes the time to go, wait a second, we're all being played
Yeah.
against each other. We're all being pitted each other. I see
Hmm.
it all the time. I mean, we see it all the time. People make comments, they say certain things, and you can tell that
They have no idea.
they fell for the lies.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And this commercial is exactly that. That's exactly what it is. This
Hmm.
commercial is by design to cause problems. Because let's be honest too, we all know for a fact that Facebook manipulates its post because they
Yes. They
want people to argue. They want people to get upset. They steer people towards shit. They've been accused of it. They've been found guilty of it. That's what they were doing, right? We know Twitter for a fact removes trending topics or they'll promote trending topics to put them in front of people on purpose. Even though it's not warranted, they will because they want people to fight. They want
do.
people to get mad. They want people to sit there and bitch at each other. And the media
Exactly.
plays their part. And then the rest of us sit there and go, some of us sit there and go, we all see what's going on here. And then,
Hmm.
but the majority of people don't. They just fight with each other. They waste their time fighting each other and nobody moves ahead.
Exactly. Exactly. And then you hear people saying people say, "Oh, peace," but then there can't be any peace if you're being manipulated.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're manipulating everybody, and
Hmm.
everybody falls for it. You know what I mean? And you sit there and you're like, you wish people would wake up.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know what I mean?
that's the state of that's the state of the lazy mind. What happens is, and we're all guilty of it
Yeah.
until I
Well,
got older. If I go, okay, you know what, an issue is happening, like for instance, they put it out all the time. Oh, this person, like the Boston bombings and all of that, right?
yeah.
I didn't just go, okay, you know what? Yeah, oh, this is wrong. I said, well, wait a minute. A lot of these things are just scams performed by the government. So I waited on it. I researched on it. I started finding things on about it. I didn't go right away. Oh, some terrorists attacked. That's the first thing people say, right? Oh, terrorist attack in Boston. No, it's not that. Most of the time, it's not. And you could and they even show it now on television shows. Your boy Chris, they show it. Have you ever watched Quantico?
Yeah, I've watched the beginning of the first season. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
about.
that whole show is about how the government it's like telling the truth pretty much. It's like telling, and they don't care anymore. They're willing to let people spill it out on TV. That whole show is about the government doing corruption, to confuse the masses of the people. That's pretty
Well,
much what the show is about. Because at the end of the day, usually things get swept under the rug. The person that did it end up being in the government, and then they get off or they get killed, or that's usually how it works. What are you gonna say?
a lot of shows like that, they're just stealing from like Homeland, the
Yeah.
show Homeland. Because Homeland is the same way. Like they're depicting a lot of the same thing, where a lot of the stuff is controlled from
Hmm.
the government.
But it's
And
like they're basically telling everyone, though. You get what I'm saying, right? They're saying,
yeah,
look,
well,
we're
it's like
doing this. It's nothing you can do about it. But people
right.
watch the shows and they don't understand that it's based on reality.
Well, let's be honest with people. You know, if you're in the know and you pay attention to this shit for years, you know that they're actually putting it out there in the open. Like they don't care any longer.
They don't
They don't
care.
care if the general masses can watch a TV show that's telling you exactly what they're doing because they know the general masses are too stupid to realize it.
Yeah.
That's why they do it because everybody's too stupid to realize it. Because you know why? People got a life to live. They're too busy. They're
Exactly.
working. They got their kids. They got to go here. They got to go there. They got to do this. They got to do that. People are too busy. They don't want to sit there and think like, oh, wait a second. They don't want to go into that we'll call it the matrix. They don't want to go
Hmm.
into that matrix of like
Yeah.
really what's going on here
Hmm.
because they know it. They know people don't have that time to invest. So they
Hmm.
can throw headlines at them and they'll fall for it. They could put a show on TV depicting everything that they're doing and they won't read into it like, wait a second, this kind of looks like real life.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of people believe a lot of these television programming is not based on reality. You know, pretty much almost every movie they make is based on some type of reality. I mean, we live in a cold world. Most of the things you're watching on TV, or I mean not TV, I should say movies, because a lot of stuff they fake too to confuse. But a lot of stuff that you watch on movies, especially you see these action movies, a lot of the time that's based on something that actually happened. It's just a lot of people won't get that. They won't get they're being controlled. They won't get they're being programmed to believe a certain thing. A lot of people won't get that this is being put in front of you for a reason. And that's why I suggest to everyone, you're watching stuff on television, you're watching the news even, do your research. Do your research before you jump on any side. Pepsi's doing this, Pepsi's doing that. We're telling you exactly why they're doing it. They know how to play on a race card, and people are getting upset and falling for it. You know, no, the thing to do is not strike, because then you're gonna have those same people who are the majority. And I'm not saying to just stand down and let things happen, but you're letting the masses drag you into race wars when everyone should be together. That's what's happening. Because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is there will be a man that will come and say, all of this needs to stop. We need to have world peace, right? And that's going to be Satan himself. Okay,
Hmm.
Satan himself disguised. And a lot of people don't understand that. See, all of this tension's happening right now in the world is to control your brain. It's to control your brain to go, okay, yeah, look at this, and then you take this side. When at the end of the day, these people all have these secret organizations, and they all listen to that same group, head group of people, and they all listen to that one entity, you know, and that's who's actually controlling your minds and programming you, because there will be a big, gigantic world peace coming, and it will be happening soon, and that world peace will be false. Okay, so everyone's setting themselves up for it. To where if there's a guy like me speaking against that world peace, saying it's false, people would then turn around and look at me or someone else and say, "Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, that guy's a hater." You see what I'm saying? That guy's a hater. He's hating peace. Well, if the peace is false, there's no peace. It's only destruction. Because I've seen these guys, and that's at the top of these organizations, saying, "Oh, if you speak about someone's da da da, they deserve a punch in the face." Right? So,
Right.
I mean, is that peace or is it war? Sounds like war to me. So yeah, people just don't fall for it, man, because then you will fall for anything. If you fall for these um little different marketing techniques and schemes that these big companies are doing, or even smaller companies or people or whatever, sucked into anything. Do your research. I suggest for everyone to do your research on every topic before you have a word in it. You understand? Because anything can be manipulated. Am I wrong, your boy Chris? Anything in media can be manipulated. Anything in that has to do with any of these big companies like Pepsi that has the marketing dollars to do it can be manipulated. Do your research.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's all by design. You know,
Hmm.
like it's just so clear. Like anything you look at, especially like this commercial, like this backlash. This commercial is all people are talking about on social media. It's like, all right, so Pepsi makes this commercial. They pay Kendall Jenner. They paid her probably a couple of million for this new campaign that they're doing.
Hmm.
If you think about it, that's all they had to do because the promotion's free because everybody's fighting over it.
Yes.
That's all the promotion they needed. So why invest more millions in promotion when you could just have the fools do it for you? Have everybody
Hmm.
arguing, have everybody going back and forth, right? And you have everybody arguing, everybody fighting, and Pepsi benefits. Yeah, okay, there's going to be a little backlash. I don't think so. I think, like I said, this news cycle goes so fast. It'll be 2 or 3 days. We'll be on to something new, and nobody will care. There'll be a small group of people still complaining, but Pepsi got what they wanted. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like they played everybody. They played
Yeah.
everybody, and yet everybody's mad at each other. Or like, all right, they're mad at each other until the next round, and it'll be just some other crazy thing that's going to go on, and that'll pit everybody back together and fighting each other, and it is just crazy. It is just nuts. Like you said, you know what it is that it's if you fall for it. If you want to fall for it, if you want to be mad, you're going to be mad. If you want to laugh at it, you're going to laugh. You know what I mean? Like you're going to find whatever you want to find in it.
Hmm.
You know, but if you take the time and go, wait a second, this is a dumbass commercial that they shot, and why would they do that? You instantly realize why they did it. I
Hmm.
think I think you know the sad part is nobody pays attention, and you just get people fighting over it.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can't move forward. There's no moving forward when you have people just arguing over something that they're not understanding.
Hmm.
You know, they just look at it like, oh, how could Pepsi do that? That's disrespectful. Well, if you understood what Pepsi doing, you should be mad at Pepsi, the fact that they would even play people like this and not fighting with the other side. Go fight with Pepsi. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Don't waste your time on Twitter going back and forth with people on Twitter. You know, just be like, all right, Pepsi, you know, like we're gonna boycott and we're not gonna buy any products and we're not gonna go to any of the restaurants that you guys own or you guys have your soda at. You know, you're not
Yeah.
gonna go to like Burger King and Taco Bell and all that bullshit. We're not going
Hmm.
there any longer. And you gotta go that route, you know? But
Yeah.
to pick fights with people on the other side that are laughing at you, it's pointless. Don't waste your time.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. It's true, and that's the thing. That's what we're saying too. We're not saying, "Oh, don't do what you have to do to go against Pepsi," but like you said, stop fighting with other people. Stop fighting with people that you may know are racist. Because that's not going to win anything.
Or not even that. You know, to think people are racist is kind of. I want to be honest with you. To think other people are racist when you don't know what's in their heart and you don't know them,
Yeah.
it's kind of like let's be honest. It's a bad move. It's not. It just all it does is it causes more divide. Like if
Hmm.
like I know people may go, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. No, I do. No, I do. And what I'm saying is that like it's a very when you don't know somebody and you're just judging them on what you think. Like they didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing. They didn't say anything. But in your mind, you think they are, and you go ahead and say it. You put those words in. They come out your mouth, and you call that person that, it's really you that has the problem. It's not them, it's you. And that's
Hmm.
the problem. Is too many people throw that out there and they don't know why they're doing it. They're just doing it because they think that's what they need to do. Now, if somebody says something, it's a different story. But that's what I'm saying. You can't throw that out there on people when you don't know what's in somebody's heart. And if somebody's not doing something, how can you label somebody that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
And I
you,
do, but what's gonna happen is, see, this is what people do. Um, you know, and a lot of times it's not the racist thing. This is what people do. People get a drive a lot of times of seeing someone upset, right? People drive off of that. So, and it's funny to them. There's always going to be those people that are on, like you said, right now it's on Twitter, right? They know by them posting that what kind of response they're going to get because they know everyone's being sensitive. They're playing the. You're going to have one side playing the other side, and that's why I'm saying to everyone that feels disrespected by it, leave it alone. You know, leave it alone. And like your boy Chris said, just go out there, do whatever protests you have to do. But to be online fighting with people, and like you're right, they could be racist, they could not be racist. But it's just a waste of time.
it is a waste of time.
Hmm.
I'll tell you a story real quick, right? There, here in New York, there's everybody knows what ESPN is, right? But here in New York, if anybody knows how ESPN radio works, they have national radio, then they have regional radio, right? So, like, even though ESPN has a national station, during the day, they'll have different sports talk on, and it's across the United States.
Hmm.
Then there's regional sports talk. So, like, if you want to hear ESPN New York, it's a separate channel, right? So, if you
Hmm.
want local sports, that's who you listen to. Anyway, on the sports program that I listen to, um, they talk a lot about like all the touchy subjects in sports because there's a lot of racial shit that happens in sports. You have the Colin Kaepernick thing, that had a whole racial tone to it, where now he can't get a job. People are saying, okay, what's the deal with this? He kneeled for the national anthem, and now nobody wants to hire him. It's kind of, like how are we supposed to look at that? You know what I mean? Like, you know. Some people are saying, he deserves a second chance, but really, what does he deserve a second chance from? What did he really do wrong? You know
I
what I'm
know.
saying? That's one of those weird subjects, right? Because you have like a bunch of people who watch football who are like, oh, he was so disrespectful. He shouldn't have did that, and um, he shouldn't be on football. They should have got rid of him. And then you have people saying, okay, well, he should get a second chance. And then there's a lot of people going, wait, what did he do? Like, what did he do that he needs to be given a second chance for? Like, he
Well,
just protested. Like, he
yeah.
protested in his
So,
fashion. And if
hmm
you didn't agree with it, it wasn't like he turned his back or like he was screaming and yelling or he had a silent protest, right?
I'll tell you what happened. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no, let me finish. Let me finish.
All right, go ahead.
So anyway, so he has this thing that goes on all winter, right? And every week it was a damn thing where they were talking about it, like, oh, people, this is going to be mad. People are going to be mad about this. People are mad about that. So now the discussion is who's going to hire him, right? Who is going to give this guy a job in the NFL? And on the sports talk program, they every time they bring him up, when they do callers, you get both sides, right? So you get like guys that call up who are retired cops, or maybe they currently are cops or ex-military. And a lot of them, don't forget, he wore those pig socks with the police hat on them.
Oh, he
Remember
did.
that, right? Yeah. So he
Oh,
took it to a different level, right? So you got cops that call up and they'll be like, you know, they'll say whatever they say, and they'll say
see,
he doesn't
I
deserve.
didn't know he did all
Yeah,
that.
he did that too. They're like, oh, he doesn't deserve a second chance or whatever. And then you'll have people that'll call up and be like, he didn't do anything wrong to not be able to get a job. If he's listen, his skill level has diminished. Let's be honest. He's not that
Mhm.
quarterback he was when he went to the Super Bowl, right? He diminished really quick, right? His skill level died quick. So if you want to say he doesn't deserve a job based off of his skill, all right, fine, that's fair. but he's still good enough to be a backup.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
might not be a first string quarterback. He might not be a starting quarterback, but he's still good enough in the NFL to be a good backup. But the fact that nobody wants to take that chance on him, it's kind of like, all right, people are weighing the odds of like, if we sign him, bring him to our team, are we gonna get a backlash? People are not gonna want to buy tickets because they don't know if he's gonna protest. Now he came out and said that his protest is done. He's not going to be doing the national anthem protest any longer. Now people said, okay, did he say that because he needs a job?
Yeah.
And he's trying to tell because people said he didn't need to do that because his agent when agent talking to the different owners the different GMs
Hmm.
the agent could have said to the GM, listen, he's not going to do the protest, just so you know. But he came out publicly and said, yeah, I'm not going to do the protest, blah 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 blah. So on this sports talk, they always getting into this back and forth, and those different callers, right? There's cops that call up, there's military that call up, and on both sides, there are military and cops that call up and defend his right to do what he did. So it's not really
Because
a
he has a
black
right to
and
free speech.
right, but it's not just always a black and white thing. It's more of how you perceive it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so when you have military guys that are white that call up and say, "Hey, listen, I go over there and fight so he can do that, and I have no problem with it." Are you gonna call that dude a racist? I
No, no,
think
that's
people get too caught up in just looking at things and say, "Oh, that person's a racist." But you gotta know the person and what they're saying. If somebody's saying shit to you, then okay, yeah, they're a racist. You know what I mean? Like you could tell because they said something to you. But when somebody doesn't, but you pin it like, "Oh, that's racist," or "This is racist." Okay, well, in what context? Like, talk to that person because when you label somebody like that, guess what? Now they got to defend themselves. And now you got a beef going on when there really probably was nothing there. It was just bad communication.
hmm. Hmm.
And I think we get pitted against each other on purpose.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think everybody falls for it. You know what I mean? Like they fall for it. Like, and it's like you don't have to fall for it. You just have to take the time to be like, wait a second, hold up. Like, do you really feel that way? Or, you know, why'd you say that? Or, because, the whole big misnomer is that, you know, when you watch the news, right? Especially in America, you don't get the American news channels any longer, but you go to any different news network and you're going to get some slanted ass news, right? It's going to be slanted whatever that station is trying to push, right? So whatever their demographic is, they're going to push the news that gets those people going. If you go to CNN, they're going to push stuff that's more very strong left leaning, very liberal, very progressive, much more minority uh, uh, viewer base, right? So they're going to push things that get them riled up. Whereas you go to say a Fox News, and they're going to push things that get their viewers riled up. You know what I'm saying? And what they're doing, if you watch both networks side by side, they're just pitting everybody against each other. That's all they're doing. They're pitting both sides, both groups against each other.
Well, that's what it's designed to do. But the thing with
Yeah.
the thing with Colin Kaepernick, you know, what he's going through right now is the masses. He's going through the majority. The majority didn't like what he did. I had no idea that had pigs on his socks and a pig hat. You know what I mean? But he
They were
took a stand.
police. They were police pigs
Okay,
on his
he took
socks.
he took a stand for what he believed in. He did the right thing. Um, I don't really believe that he needed to say that he's going to recant what he's doing. Just accept it. That's how I feel, man. Just accept it. You still can have an outlet of your own. Like you said, he's becoming washed up. So maybe that's not his lane anymore. He took a stand. Maybe he needs to continue finding his purpose in life. Deep down in the heart, I'm sure that people knew he was going to take that kneel. And he probably was warned about it. See, because all of that is controlled too. You do know that, right? Your boy Chris, sports as well. It's controlled by the same people that control the music, that control the masses. It's all a distraction tool. That's what sports is.
Yeah.
So they are, say for instance, he probably told someone, and sure, some important people got back to him and say, hey, look, if you do this, this is going to end your career, right? I'm
Which he
sure he
didn't
knew
have
that.
anyway. Which he didn't have anyway because he lost his starting position anyway. So he was riding the pine. That's the thing. That's the other problem
That's why
in
he
this
felt
whole.
comfortable to do it.
Right. That's the other problem in this whole thing because when he first did it, people said, "Oh, he's drawing attention to himself because everybody forgot about him." That was the whole kicker of the thing was that people at first were saying, "Oh, he's only doing this because people forgot about him because he's washed." And the more he did it and kept up with it, then people stopped thinking that and they were like, "Oh, he's got a message." You know what I'm saying? Like they at first when he first did it, people were like, "Yo, he's only doing it because he's washed." And he's just trying to do something with his time while he's there because it's kind of like, oh, whatever. But then people realize, no, he's got a purpose, like he's got a mission, he's got a cause.
And I
And
do believe he did, man. I do believe he did.
then people said, oh, well, now he just killed his career because he had no career left, but now he's making sure there's no career, but he still wants to play. So the whole debate was people said, could he done something different, right? And you think to yourself, well, if he's not a superstar any longer, what could he have done? You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, yeah, he's got money. He could have, I don't know, donated to some movements. Who knows, right? But like,
Hmm.
he's not a star any longer. He's washed up at a young age. He fizzled fast, and I guess he saw that. Hey, you know what? I have a cause. I might as well use it while I'm still on the field, some in some fashion, right? Because
Hmm.
pretty soon I'll be off this field because I'm washed. I'll be in the Canadian Football League. So he took advantage of what stage he had. You know, it's just like the whole Beyonce Super Bowl thing. It was a Super Bowl, yeah, it was a Super Bowl where she did the whole formation thing, and then everybody
Hmm.
got mad at that, and they were protesting outside the NFL for like a couple of days. I'm telling you, like, there's just too much shit that's there put in front of us, so we all fight and argue with each other.
Hmm.
Like, people get mad over the like. A smart person looks at what Colin Kaepernick does and goes, "Oh well, it's his right." Yeah, that's it. It's his right. There's nothing, you know what I mean? Like, it's his right to do that. Now, the only decision is he plays a sport for a living. You know what I mean? It's not a normal job. He he's there at the behest of the owner, right? This guy owns something that's worth a lot of money. If he wants to turn around and be like, "Hey, you're no longer employed here," he can do that in the NFL. No ifs, ands, or buts,
Hmm.
right? Because it's not like a normal job. It's different. They have different type of contracts. They're unionized, but they also they don't guarantee contracts. They can release them for anything. So they have a
Well, yeah, they
clause in
put
it.
it in the contract.
Well, they have a clause. They have a clause in the NFL. They have a clause in almost any major sports.
Hmm.
If you do anything to hurt the integrity of the team, you're gone. Like, if you hurt the financial well-being of a team in any way, that means reduced ticket sales because of your reactions or whatever. Say you beat your wife, say you get arrested for rape, say anything like that, and it looks bad on a team, they just let you go.
Hmm.
Like, they cut bait, you're gone. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. They can do it 100%. So, you know, he took a risk, but the real thing is he was entitled to do it. Other people have done this before. You know what I mean? There's been other athletes that have done this before. It's not something that it's like, oh my God, I
It
can't
was the
believe he's
timing.
doing this.
It was
Yeah, I think it was
timing.
the
That's what
I
it
think it
was.
was the timing.
He picked perfect timing, and he knew it. He did it knowing that was going to have that impact, and he took that risk. And I respect it for him. I respect him for it. He took a risk, knowing, what, I may not come back for this. He took a
You know,
risk, and
you,
even guys in the NBA did it. But it was the way he was the most noticed for it. You see what I'm saying?
they did it differently.
Yeah, they did it differently. He was the most
They
noticed for it.
first of all, they did it um, like with T-shirts during
Hmm.
warm-ups. Um, and let's be 100% honest, the NBA is different than the NFL in the fact that the NBA builds up individuals. The NBA, as much as a team sport, they don't build teams, they build individuals. There's
Hmm.
more money in individuals than teams. So, like, LeBron can do whatever he wants. So, if LeBron wants to get his teammates to wear some t shirts, nobody's going to say anything because he's LeBron James. He can do what he wants. He is, he is the NBA. Colin Kaepernick is not LeBron James, and he plays for the 49ers. He plays for an NFL team. He's one of many men. You know what I'm saying? LeBron is LeBron. So it's a different thing. Um that's why you don't see a lot of like certain types of activities like say in baseball because they don't build individuals. They build teams. NBA is different. And that's why they're able to get away with doing something like that. But then also too, you got to remember they did it before the game. It's more of a silent thing. They did it with like just the shirts. It really wasn't a national anthem thing. Um, so it's like I say, it's just different the way they were able to do it. I don't, and you know what? I don't think I gotta be honest with you. I think Colin Kaepernick had more of an impact than the way they did it. He had more people talking about it, right? He had more people debating. Nobody was debating what LeBron did. I think because LeBron gets the respect to be able to do those things, kind of like a Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like he was able to do things, and people always saw him in a different light. They saw him as like above, like they saw him as greatness. You know how people treat Jordan. Like Jordan could do no wrong. You know, like people idolize Jordan.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
You're kind of a little staticky, but I can hear you.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm choppy right now. I'm not getting good service at all. I couldn't hear you for like the last 2 minutes.
You're like, oh,
Yeah,
you're
guys,
all.
I'm gonna have to. I'm definitely gonna have to end it, man, because it's choppy, and if I switch my connection, I'm using a Wi-Fi.
Ah, see.
Packet connection is gonna end the podcast. But
All right.
I'll stop it right now. We'll definitely pick it up. We'll pick it back up, and we'll definitely talk about this again, guys. So stay tuned. Who knows? We may make a podcast tomorrow, but it'll definitely be Thursday. And like and subscribe, and let us know what you think about the subject as well.
All right. Peace, everybody.